If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you.
Carry on. Hmm? Move along. I don't have time for this. Huh? Hey. Move along.
Spacer's choice. We don't get a lot of visitors. Staying long?
Something got you down?
Nothing. Just don't want to fall sick. We don't get a lot of visitors. Staying long? Spacer's choice takes care of... We don't get a lot of visitors.
Spacer's choice takes care of its own.
You're safer. Got my sight. Don't make me report you. You some sort of freelancer?
This is really close to Fallout.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, so you asked what?
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass.
Only regulator we've got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are... No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining the people living in the botanical labs. They're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations. Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks... That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all...
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so...
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Don't make me report you to Mr. Thompson.
If you could see your way to getting a... Go ahead. It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of... I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon. Times change, people change, but the veil. This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. Loyalty's got nothing. I wish you wouldn't say things like, yes, as a matter of, when I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. We are all part of the Spacer. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their... I must. The burden of leadership... Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell ever since Adelaide left. Go ahead. Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor. Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the bodies. But, and this is something we must keep between the... Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly... some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect. Go ahead. Can we not? Talking about Show up to work, put in your hours, where problems of the body come from problems of the spirit. And where do you suggest we find this magical panacea? Can we pan for medicine is a rare and precious commodity. That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become... Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude. If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. It is not easy for me. And the moment Spacer's Choice is a family. And the survival of the family is more important than the
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Okay. Qual skills a chef? Doesn't show the skills though. Oh, it shows.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters. On account of it's his job and what all, but... To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before. I don't know anybody well. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both. Can't say as I know. I wasn't there. The sound care. If Mr. Thompson ain't of a mind to tell you his own self, you'd best ask Miss McDevitt. Life's hard here. Especially for them. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. The mission's on the east side of town. You can't miss it. About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. They're neighbors. And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe it's just an idea. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, that's what my dad used to say.
Oh, so I can steal this. I drink that water. Where is it? I got water. Dehydrated water. What? What the fuck is that? Can't find water, bro. So seems like someone was dead. Just gonna steal everything. Okay, everything. I don't care. She's okay to see it, right? No, they should not see. Oh, vending machine. Offers where to vend the purchase mostly from one company. A high skill of 20 or higher allows you to sell items to the vending machine. I just want fucking water. What can I sell? Garbage. So this. Let me see if I can buy water. Alright. Okay. So, we gotta go talk to that Vicar guy.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Carry on.
Okay, I'll carry on. I'll carry on. What's going on?
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers and Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a...
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice? Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. On the contrary, my position means that I am one of the few legally allowed to possess such items. But do not worry. You'll be safe since you are acting on my behalf. Glad we see eye to eye. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in... It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value. Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.